Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I have a quarterly book box that's been sent to me for review. They've recently undergone some changes from ownership to just the subscription offerings, and I think it's really awesome now. I am of course talking about the Wordy Traveler, which is not just a book box, it's also kind of a travel and destination box, which used to be some of my favorite kinds of boxes to review here on the channel, and they're few and far between these days. So this time around for this quarter, you guys, look how big the box is. It's so cool, and they did this nice full color print on it so it looks like a crate. This little stamp here actually says, "To the lucky transporter of this package, wanderlust inside. Please handle with care and curiosity." I thought that was kind of cool, although it kind of invites people to like break into your box. So really big box this time around because of the contents. I don't think the boxes are always going to be that big. You can take a look at the last unboxing I did. I think that's going to be more of the standard size, but I love that they're not shying away from having to get a bigger box if the contents inside, what they want to send to go along with that quarter's destination, are a little bit bigger than usual. So the last time that I reviewed it, when they had first undergone new ownership, I had the wrong pricing. So I did update it, but I am so happy to tell you it is a much more affordable option. And like I said, I just think it's a really cool subscription option because it involves nonfiction and fiction books if you want it to. You get some destination items. You can really immerse yourself in the culture and literature of a given place each quarter. We've actually decided to use it for Q4 of our book club that we run through the channel. So we have a private Facebook group called the Nobot Nook. Long story why it's called that, but watchers of this channel are called Nobots. And then we have like a little subset of it, which is called the Book Nook, which is our book club, which is run by the amazing Priscilla. We choose a book every quarter that is in a box that is one of the boxes that I open here on the channel. So this year we've been able to kind of jump around. We've done a Once Upon a Book Club one-time box. We have done a literary book club box. That's what we're reading right now. We've done a Peace and Pages box. I was able to work with the owners over there. And that's what we're going to do for Q4. You're going to get to vote if you decide to sign up for the book club, and we'll decide on our title. So you do not have to get the box to participate in our book club. You just have to get your hands on the title, but it is so fun to get to open the boxes together and kind of discuss the contents inside and how we're enjoying them and using them. So definitely consider it if you are looking for a fun book club, but also like it's got a little bit of a destination travel vibe to it as well. So I do have a code for you. It's going to save you 20 bucks. It's Noel, N-O-E-L, but I will leave that information for you in the description box below. So let's do a quick rundown now of the pricing. So the main subscription, right, that most people do is 2 books per quarter, and you can choose. You can do 1 fiction, 1 nonfiction. You can do 2 fiction. I'm usually kind of a fiction girly, although I like a lot of nonfiction books. Or you can do 2 nonfiction. So that is $79 plus $12.99 in shipping. Now, if you want to do annual, it's the same thing. It comes out to $79 per box, but your shipping is included. So you save basically $13 per quarter. So that's pretty big savings. It's $316 for the year. Then there is the 4 book option for those of you who are prolific readers. And that's it's just 2 fiction, 2 nonfiction. You don't get to like split it up and do 3 and 1 or 1 and 1 and 3, 3 and 1, or it's 2 and 2. It's 2 and 2, and that is basically like $30 more per book. So it winds up being $139 for the quarter for 4 books, and then you get all of the goodies inside. I'll give you the list of all the goodies in a second. Same thing though, you can do annual. You save all the shipping on that, so it's $556 for the year. And then finally, for those of you who want like 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction for each of the months of the quarter, you can do that. 3 nonfiction, 3 fiction. That is going to be $20 per additional book, so an extra $40. So it brings it to $169 for the quarter. Or if you do the year and you pay in advance, it's $676. But I'll show you all the math in the description box below. But basically, you're going to get your books, 2 to 6 of them, 2, 4, or 6. You're going to get a destination-inspired postcard, a full-size souvenir, and that's why they had to give us the big box this time around, a custom bookmark, a keepsake charm, that's something that they've carried over from old school Wordy Traveler, destination-inspired loose leaf tea and a destination-inspired coffee. So you don't have to choose between coffee and tea. You get both. And you also get, what's really cool is this Wordy Traveler passport. They actually sent me one in the last box too, but I think it's really cool. And then it really looks like a passport inside. Like, look at those pages. And they give you a sticker that looks like a stamp for each of the regions. You can write whatever you want there, and though, right? You can put like the titles of the books that you read. You could write little reviews about them. You could write titles of other books from or about the region that's featured for that quarter. You can do whatever you want with it, but I do think it's kind of a cool thing and a good reason to stay subscribed. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone and let you know what next quarter is, but again, we are going to use the Wordy Traveler as the basis of our Q4 book club. So we'll be doing a vote for the title that we're going to read very, very soon over in the Nobot Nook. So keep your eyes peeled for that, or get into the Nobot Nook. You have to answer some questions to get in there if you haven't already. And you can definitely still get this box from the Wordy Traveler as well. The destination for Q3 is Mexico, which is just like a few minutes away from me. I live very close to the border of Mexico. Love Mexican food, culture, music, all of it. So really excited to see the titles that they have sent to me for review. All right, so I did pre-open it because I'm going to show you in this box. They actually had a bunch of tissue, and I think it's really cute. They actually like stamped it so it says WT for Wordy Traveler. And there was a bunch of this shred. Now, I love shred because you guys know I reuse it all the time for all of my mystery boxes and just gifting and stuff. But it was very much stuck to the full-size souvenir this time around, and I will say they did, because of what the souvenir is, they definitely didn't need the shred. So this time around I was like, oh, you didn't need to throw that shred in there. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. So here is our beautiful Wanderlust Fulfilled Mexico product card, and then on the back they tell us everything that is inside. So I don't want to show you too much. It says everything in this box is inspired by the bold, vibrant soul of Mexico, where every moment is lived with heart. So, and then we have, I'm just going to show you, this is kind of like our little swag bag. It's got your Wanderlust inspired bookmark and souvenir. I love that they put it in a separate envelope for us. And then we have our books that are wrapped up. Like, they've really done a lot in terms, there's that tissue paper with the Wordy Traveler stamps on it. I love that they did that. I think that's really impressive, honestly. And then a Wordy Traveler embossed sticker. So they're really putting effort into the packaging, the whole experience of it. So it really feels like this travel crate that you're receiving in the mail each quarter. And I could totally see, if this was the only book box that I got, getting the 6-book option could be really, really great in terms of just really experiencing everything, reading some great titles, and having basically 2, one fiction, one nonfiction for each of those months. And then we have the separate package here, which is our tea and our coffee. So let's take a quick look. So we have a prickly pear tea and a luz de la mañana, I thought I said mañana, coffee. So it says, we teamed up with our tea and coffee partners to create these special blends inspired by Mexico to enlighten your senses. So luz de la mañana. Gosh, I keep wanting to say mañana. I keep wanting to put that N and the Enye in there, but nope, that's not where it goes. So it says, every cup captures the tranquility of golden mornings and the vibrant soul of Mexico. So it says that it's floral and citrusy. That sounds really good. So this is the coffee blend. And then we also have the prickly pear tea, a desert-inspired blend of prickly pear and citrus, bright, refreshing, and serves serene as the first light of day. Man, that is some tiny writing. I need to get my glasses out. So those were our coffee and tea that we received. Those are things you always get. We got our Mexico-inspired literature, but let's dive into this little guy first. And then I'm hoping that my sticker is in there as well. So let's see, they have a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, got everything out of there. So here is our stamp. I did find that. Oh my goodness, that's so great. Okay, so here's our big bookmark. They gave us a beautiful image of a pyramid. It's, it's in Spanish. All my Spanish speakers, Priscilla and Barbara and Martha, are all gonna make fun of me. But it translates to, behind every keepsake lies a meaning that makes it worth keeping. Detrás de cada recuerdo, that's memories, I think. So, hay un significado que lo hace digno de conservar. Conservar. I am so sorry, you guys. Recuerdo que un significado que lo hace digno de conservar. You would think living so close to Mexico, I would be better at it than I am. All right, so, and then on the back, it's gonna tell us a little bit more about the items that we got. So we kind of get like double duty, so it kind of gives us like an overview of everything on the bigger card, and then it tells us a little bit more on the bookmark. So we got, for our bookmark, this guy, it's a sugar skull bookmark. It says, inspired by the iconic calaveras of Dia de los Muertos, this sugar skull bookmark is more than a page keeper. It's a celebration of those who came before. In Mexico, remembrance is joyful, vibrant, and full of color. That's what it says on the bigger one. I'm trying to open up the bag. It says, and then this is our custom Mexico bookmark, a tribute to life and memory. The sugar skull bookmark isn't just a way to mark your place. Oh, it says the same thing. It's a tribute to memory. Inspired by the iconic calaveras of Dia de los Muertos, it honors the lives that came before us with color, joy, and meaning. In Mexico, remembrance isn't somber. It's a celebration. Let this handcrafted piece remind you that every life is a story worth holding on to, one page at a time. So a little bit different. This is beautiful though. I don't usually like use thick bookmarks like this. I would usually like use this as my bookmark, honestly. So we got like a paper bookmark that's also a product card, and a product card that also has a beautiful image on it. And then we got this stunning gold edge. Look at the detail of that, like Katrina skull. And then it's got this little dangly like flower. Oops, let me flip that around for you. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, I think that is gorgeous. That is so, so pretty. Wow, that is a really lovely bookmark, you guys. I think that's so nice. And it's actually pretty thin. Sometimes I don't like bookmarks like this because I feel like they're gonna leave a spot on my pages when I close the book up. But this is really, really pretty. I'm sorry, I'm blinding you. That's really nice. Okay. Then we also got for our charm. So I know a lot of people, before the passports existed, and here I think is our sticker for the passport. So you're just gonna apply that sticker on whatever page. Maybe there's one for Mexico. You know, I'm used to the little red and green stamp that we get when we go to Mexico. And then a lot of people actually have a charm bracelet, and we got another calaveras. So that is awesome, calavera. So beautiful. I'm like so determined to, I'm gonna read that quote over and over again until it sounds natural to me, but you know, since it's not a language that I speak, it takes me a while. That's so cute. So love the bookmark though, you guys. It is so pretty, and it's actually sort of like raised, like there's texture to it. It's not just flat, like you can feel the paint on it. I think that's so pretty. Okay, then this is the big thing, right? So this is our full-size souvenir. The reason they gave us this big box this time around, we actually got a full Mexican blanket, and they came in different colors. I, of course, love that mine is just traditional gray and black. So this is what all of that shred was sticking to, and I wanted to go ahead and pull all of that off ahead of time. And this is also, I mean, this is pretty, see, there's some still stuck on there. This is pretty soft, so I feel like this could have been used as the packing, you know, for the books, and everything could have just been folded around in it. See, it's all stuck in here. And they didn't really need to add that shred this time around, could have saved on that, but I'm guessing they were just like, well, there's a lot of empty space in there. But I know they ordered these way in advance, which I thought was really awesome. It looks like there was some color variation, because look at that gorgeous teal one that they're showing on this card. So, but I love the gray. These are great to have in the back of your car just for an impromptu picnic, or if you need to, like, there's so many times when you can use these. This one is actually pretty good quality. They definitely do vary in quality. I've definitely picked some up when I've been coming across the border that were a little scratchy and not that great. I will say that when you do wash these, and you can totally wash them, you want to like kind of hang dry them and kind of stretch them back out so they lay flat again, because they'll get a little bit ripply when you do that. So when they're still a little bit damp, kind of like stretch them out a little bit to lay flat again. But I love these. We use them at the beach. We use them, like I said, on lawns, at parks. Sometimes if you just need something in your lap for a little warmth, sometimes if it's like a hard bench you're sitting on, you can kind of double it up and use it as a cushion. These are fantastic, and I really think this was a great value for this particular quarter, because you got the 2 books, you got your coffee, your tea, the beautiful bookmark. I mean, that's a bookmark that's gonna cost some money in like a nice boutique. This, you know, not super expensive, but like, again, I think it's awesome that they weren't like, oh, it's too big to send in our little boxes, but they actually sent us something that's useful, very much representative, I feel, of the country. Even though it's a big country, there's a lot of cultures and styles and traditions within Mexico. I thought that was pretty good for $79. And again, you can save $20. That covers your shipping. And we still have the books to take a look at. So that's what I wanted to save for the end, because, you know, the books are the star of the show. We got our Mexico-inspired literature, carefully chosen books that bring Mexico's places, people, and cultures to life, perfect for sparking your wanderlust. So essentially, each quarter they choose 3 nonfiction and 3 fiction at minimum, but based on talking to them, and I can't tell you the titles ahead of time, based on talking to them, it sounds like there's actually quite a few more. So you don't know like exactly which combination you're going to get, no matter whether you're getting 2 books, 4 books, or 6 books, right? So it's not that if you're getting 6, it's the same 3 for everybody, 3 and 3, right? It might be more of a mixture. So they probably have probably more like 5 or 6 fiction and 5 or 6 nonfiction, and then it's kind of a mixed bag. So I think it could be really interesting. Also, just because if you do decide to join our book club, and you know, we are going to be able to, this is not something you can normally do, but we are going to be able to choose the fiction title that we want to use for our book club. And I'll just basically pass the names on to the Wordy Traveler. But you're still going to get the nonfiction. So, and it's not guaranteed that we're all going to get the same nonfiction book, which I think could be really cool for added discussion to see which titles people got for their nonfiction selection. Or you could also choose, again, you could also choose to do another fiction selection, and to see, can kind of compare. So if you do decide to use it for our book club, you'll let me know in the book club discussion, and then guaranteed one of your titles will be the one we're using, the fiction we were using, and then you get to decide when you sign up if you're going to get 2 fiction titles and the other one's a mystery, or you're going to get 1 fiction, 1 nonfiction, and the nonfiction is a mystery. All right, so I don't know which one is which. This is a memoir, so this is going to be our nonfiction. Maria Hinojosa, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Hinojosa, I think, maybe. It says, for nearly 30 years, Emmy Award-winning journalist Maria Hinojosa has reported on stories and communities in America that often go ignored by the mainstream media. In Once I Was You, Maria shares her intimate experience growing up Mexican-American on the south side of Chicago, offering a personal and an illuminating account of how the rhetoric around immigration has not only long informed American attitudes towards outsiders, but also sanctioned willful negligence and profiteering. This honest and heartrending memoir paints a vivid portrait of how we got here and what it means to be a survivor, a feminist, a citizen, and journalist who owns her own voice while uncovering the truth. Once I Was You is an urgent call to fellow Americans to open their eyes to the immigration crisis and understand that it affects us all. So I have no idea if it's Hinojosa or Hinojosa. I'm probably saying it all wrong, and I'm sure she's not like unused to that. But that's our memoir that we got, so it will be really interesting. And remember, Q4 is a whole different region, so you can wait to sign up for Q4, or you can ooh. This looks very like young adult to me. I don't know why. It like reminds me of the kind of book that we would get like back in like high school or even middle school, just because it's glossy and it's not too thick. But let's see. The Rise of the Aztecs, The Highlander. Interesting, by Zoe Sadia. All right. Interesting. So, little like mythological. Born in the Highlands, Kuini thought his life was simple. You hunt and you fight, defending your towns against the raids of the lowlanders and then raiding their lands in turn. His father was the warrior's leader and he wanted to be just like him. Yet Texcoco, the mighty capital of the lowlands, seemed incredibly beautiful, sparkling, and its pyramids magnificent. A friendship with the lowlander boy, the first son of the Texcoco emperor, seemed harmless in the beginning. They were just boys, and their clandestine meetings were always fun, providing great entertainment. However, on the day Queenie agrees to finally enter the magnificent city, it would all change. He expected to get into trouble, but he could not foresee the extent of the trouble, and worst of all, he did not expect to uncover hidden secrets concerning his own family. So this is like, kind of like historical fiction, I'm hoping it's like, but I've never heard of those particular cultures or Texcoco, but that doesn't mean it's not real. So it sounds like it's probably fiction, not necessarily historical fiction, but like we've got this jaguar and the pyramids, and I do love walking around the pyramids of Mexico. It's like so cool, like the Valle de la Virgen and like the Guadalupe, and like of course like all the big ones that you know, like Chichen Itza and Teotihuacan are like all so amazing. I know everybody's like, oh, the pyramids of Egypt. I'm like, the pyramids of Mexico are phenomenal. Anyway, so this was our fiction title that I happened to get. You might not get this one at all, or you might. And this was my nonfiction, a memoir that I got for this one. Again, you can choose 2 fiction, 2 nonfiction, or 1 of each for the 2-book option. And then it's split down the middle for the 4 and 6 books options, which I will explain to you better in more detail in the description box below. But I think what they're doing so far is really cool, and I think now that they've reduced the price a little bit, the value is really there. So I'm excited about Q4. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I truly appreciate your support, and I'll see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.